What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Tahirah Ahshah, and I am back with another video. Today's video is super important to me because I struggled. Today's video is all about how to start a stationery business and launch your first stationery product. And I am also going to be sharing with you guys some honest, super transparent mistakes that I made when trying to launch my first product. So hopefully by sharing these mistakes with you guys, your process will be much smoother than mine was. Now, I am basing this video off of the fact that you have already done the backhand things that you were supposed to do. So that is creating your LLC, setting up your business website, all of those things that should be done on the backhand prior to launching your first product. If not, go ahead and look at my first video on how to create a business and then come back to this video, okay? And one more thing before we jump into the video, keep in mind, you guys, that launching a product is a strenuous process. So there's no way that I am going to be able to give you every little single detail within this one video. I am giving you kind of like the highlighted points in which I struggled at, okay? So with that being said, I may have to turn this video into a series, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. After I finish recording this video, review it, of course, I'm going to realize there are a lot of things that I left out, and then I might do a series from that point on. However, sit back and relax and enjoy the video. But before we get into the video, please, you guys, make sure that you thumbs up this video, leave any questions or comments in the comment section, and last but not least, subscribe to my channel. But let's get right into the video. Okay, so you guys know I love to jump right into my videos. So one of the first things that I would do before anything, y'all, create a launch timeline. Within your launch timeline, you should have, of course, when you plan to launch that item, whether it's, you can be very vague, such as the spring, such as the summer, such as winter or fall. Or you can be very specific, saying, okay, I want to launch this in December, this in March, this in July, and this in September. But just have the time frame in which you would like to launch your product. And also within that launch timeline, you need to know, okay, so if I'm going to launch in the summer, then I need to order them by the spring, or I need to order them by the very beginning of spring. If I want to launch in spring, then I need to be ordering it by the very beginning of winter, whatever. That all depends on who you're going to be ordering from, but we will get to that later. And the last component of your launch timeline is when you should be doing your research and when you should be contacting those vendors for quotes. Let's use my planner again, for example, the Pure Life planner, which sold out again, period. So let's use the planner for example. I was doing a mid-year planner, okay? I wanted to launch the planner in May, which I actually did. My plan was to be sold out by July when the actual planner began, because then I would have had to discount the planner, right? So that is especially important. If you are launching a time-specific or a dated product, you need to make sure that you are launching that product by your launch timeline. So that means that if I wanted to launch by May, that means I needed to have them ordered by, when did I order them? I believed I ordered them in, I can't remember when I ordered them, but I know that I was behind on ordering them, okay? Because it was just a lot of going back and forth. I had to make a lot of edits and things like that to the sample. So just give yourself ample amount of time to order your pieces and get them sent to you, and then for you to launch them, okay? And I think it also took me much longer to actually order my pieces because I didn't realize how much research had to go into that launch timeline, okay? And I'm going to get into that coming up as well. So that's 3 components for your launch timeline. You need to know when you are going to launch. You need to know when you are going to order your products, and you need to know when you need to be contacting your vendors and doing that back research. So those are 3 components to your launch timeline. And within that launch timeline, you guys, you need to take into consideration holidays, shipping delays, just anything that could go wrong. You need to think about it, and you need to put that time frame within your launch timeline. So give yourself some extra wiggle room for mistakes to happen, because mistakes will happen. So that's number 1, create a launch timeline, okay? Number 2, during the research, you guys, do the research, especially when you're dealing with a stationery company that offers paper-based products. And I don't know any stationery company that is not dealing with paper. So again, let's use the Pure Life Planner as an example. I had no idea, okay? No idea how many paper types, how many cover types, the different dimensions. I had no idea about all of those specifications that went into creating a planner. So there are 2 types of research that I need you to do, okay? The first research is the type of specifications for your particular product. So let's say that you're launching pens, right? You need to specify the size of the tip of the pen, whether it's 0.7, 0.5, 0.1, whatever. The colors, the exterior, so the feel of the pen. Do you want it to have like a velvety finish? And then using the Pure Life Planner for an example, you need to know the paper types, especially if you're launching a stationery company that deals with paper. If you're not, I don't know what type of stationery company you are launching. Even if you're not doing planners, you're doing invitations or greeting cards or anything like that, you need to know what type of paper you are going to be using. So that's the weight of the paper, the dimensions of the paper, those things, the texture of the paper, the feel for the paper, the packaging of the paper. All of those things need to be taken into account. And of course, after you've done your research, then you're going to draft up a mock design of that so that you have some type of example to give to your vendor. Now, the second type of research I need you to do is competitive research, right? So you want to analyze what is the going rate that my competitors are selling their product for, right? So if I'm using a planner and I'm looking at the other planners in Target, or I'm looking at the other planners online, and Michael's, etc., what are my competitors charging for their planner, and what should be the going rate for my planner, right? And that is also going to help you maneuver through your negotiating with your prices with your vendors. Yeah, so pretty much you just want to research your product. Research. Do all of that research before you even contact a vendor, just so that you know what you are talking about. Okay, now we come to the hardest process, y'all, which is finding a vendor. Finding a vendor for your product, you guys. This is the longest process, but it becomes easier if you do the research and those things on the back end. Me, myself, this is where I was messing up, because I was kind of doing the research and talking to vendors at the same time, and it was slowing up the process. So when you're looking for a vendor, I stress that you keep a chart. I showed you guys my business binder in a previous video, where I keep all of my vendors within that binder. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you can pause this, go look at that video really quick, and then come back. But I would keep a chart of vendors. So list their name, list the quote that they give you, list, list details about communication, etc., so that you're not having to go back and flip through your emails and messages to figure out what vendor said what. You have that chart in front of you, okay? So just organize your vendor list, pretty much. I will create a generic email to send to every vendor. every vendor for that specific product. Let's use the planner email. I'm going to say, hey, I'm interested in your planner. This is the specifications, minimum order quantity. You tell them the cover, the color, the binding, the amount of pages. Now, I don't send my mock-up or my designs until they give me a base quote. So I'm not sending out my design to every single vendor. Really, I only sent my design to like 2 vendors. Now, I contacted about 50 vendors, but I only sent out my files to 2 vendors. And those were like my top 2 vendors. Send out your email stating all of your specifications in written format. And if you feel comfortable enough from there on out that, hey, I may actually be able to do business with this vendor, then go ahead and send them your files to get that final quote. And then you want to order samples, you guys. And just a little story time of why you should order samples, okay? So I am in the process of launching vegan leather agendas. I ordered a sample, of course, from the cheapest vendor that I could find. Quality was pure trash, you guys. Like, I was so excited to be doing business with this vendor because they were like knocking everyone out the park when it came to price point. But like they say, you get what you pay for. And I'm so happy that I ordered that sample because, baby, if I would have ordered a bulk in that planner, y'all, I would have cried. Okay, I would have cried. So that was trash. So moved on to vendor number 2. Vendor number 2, quality was much better. However, they had a little glitch. The rings on that vendor, they wouldn't like close all the way. It's kind of like after you've been using a binder in school for a long time, you know how like the rings kind of open a little bit. I can't have that. But then I was just, okay, let me just start from scratch. So I literally start from scratch in my vendor search, narrowed it down again to another vendor. They sent me my sample. Everything is coping steady. Everything is perfect. So in your search, you guys, just make sure that you go with your gut feeling and that you don't accept the bare minimum. If you don't when you initially open up that sample, y'all, you need to be wild. If you're like, this quality isn't really that good, then don't order it. Because they could say, okay, well, the bulk order, the quality will be much better. No, ma'am. Because if I'm sending out a sample to someone, I'm going to make sure that that is my best product. I'm assuming that when they send something to me, that is their best product because they want you to purchase from them, right? So what they're sending you is probably the best it's going to get. So don't fall for it, you guys. And if they say that they can provide better quality or they can fix issues, make sure that, again, you may have to order 2 samples from that vendor before you finalize that final transaction. Because I'm telling you, you guys, make sure that you see it with your own eyes and you feel it with your own with your own hands before you order that bulk order. And that's pretty much it from there on out. So after you order the sample, once you're satisfied with the sample, go ahead and make that bulk order. Just to recap, just doing the launch timeline, doing your research on the back end, finding a vendor, and then ordering the sample. Now, that's not it, you guys. I will give you some additional tips. So just a general rule of thumb when you're ordering the paper industry. And this is one of the things that is really, it's just very, very frustrating because the minimum order quantities for paper products are super high, you guys. Super high, especially if you are sending them a custom design. So just keep that in mind when you are ordering from these vendors, you guys. Yes, someone's price may be cheap, but you may have to order 5,000 of that one particular product, and then the shipping may be even more expensive as well because you're ordering so many of that one product. So lower price plus higher minimum order quantity, you will get a higher profit because you're ordering each piece at a lower price, but your upfront cost is going to be significantly higher because you're ordering more. And your upfront cost is going to be significantly higher because you are shipping more products. So the price to ship is going to be more expensive as well. However, if you increase your price, or if you go with the vendor that has maybe like a couple of cents higher on their product, or $1 higher or something like that on their product, but their minimum order quantity is reduced. So let's say instead of ordering 1,000, you only have to order 100. That is going to significantly reduce your upfront cost, and it's going to significantly reduce the cost of shipping because you're not ordering so many products. I hope that makes sense, you guys. But once you get into the search for your vendor and you actually start doing the math for everything, then it's going to make sense to you, okay? And definitely negotiate those shipping prices, because you would be surprised. Even if you're ordering from the same country, they will give you different shipping rates and you're like, what's going on? If you're ordering domestically, the shipping rates are going to be much, much cheaper. So keep that in mind as well. Domestic material is going to be much more expensive than if you were outsourcing from overseas. However, the shipping costs, shipping from within the United States, is going to be significantly lower, so that may balance out that cost for you. And one of the things that I would recommend is that if you are launching something, if this is like your first stationery product, I would say try to launch 1 or 2 things at a time, and try to launch something that's not so time specific. So if you're looking for a planner to launch, try to make it like a undated planner, so that you're not so torn in that time crunch to get it sold. Thank God my planner sold out, y'all. But I was kind of like in a time crunch to get those things sold, because again, if 6 months has gone by, you have to discount that planner, because why would I pay full price for a planner that I'm only going to get 6 months, worth of planning out of? And then of course, you guys, last but not least, don't give up, because if I had given up, I would not have found a new vendor. I would not be about to launch a whole new collection. I would not be in the place that I am today. You are going to have some hiccups. Even when I'm giving you this foundation and these tips right now, your experience may be totally different from mine, and your vendors may want to play in your face as well. Or you yourself, you may not do what you need to do in order to get those products launched at the right time. But don't give up, you guys. Just keep pushing. Work on your business every single day, whether it's responding to an email, whether it's posting on social media, whether it's building up the hype or adding one thing to your website. Make sure that you are working on your business every single day, because if you're not promoting your business, no one else is, okay? So just make sure that you are working and that you are dedicated, and that you are just stay positive, y'all. Just stay positive especially when it comes to stationery. Shoot me a DM, okay? Shoot me a DM. I want to know all of your struggles. If you are in the stationery industry, shoot me a DM. If you don't feel comfortable leaving it in the comments, girl, we can chat it up, and I can give you some more insight in all of the struggles that I have endured when creating Pure Life Stationery. It has been a struggle, you guys, but I am here and I am happy and I am thriving at this moment, only because I did not give up. But if you have any other tips, please feel free to share them in the comments. If you want to chat about your struggles, go ahead and share it in the comments. We're a community here at Pure Life Stationery. But again, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe to my channel. Peace.